What time is it?
It's Tuesday night, 10 p.m., and this is the C3 Podcast.
I guess you've heard of my reputation. I've had my share of fooling around. But everybody needs stimulation.
I had fun, man. Just out, you guys joking. We working at the same time. Putting the work in as a team. Like I said, man, I'm just glad to be with the guys.
My favorite night of the week.
Good Lord, it's a good day to be a Panthers fan. And we the best. You heard them. You heard them say it. We are the best, Joe. And we put it on them. We are the best. But tonight is not Tuesday. Not like we do the rest of those. It's Monday night. It's an election special, I guess you would say, is we're celebrating democracy. And democratically, we had some people suggest that we move the show in lieu of the election, the president, or I guess all elections tomorrow night. So we're doing it tonight. It's kind of weird. Joe, I'm already off my game. How are you on this Monday?
I'm doing well. It is strange, however, to be doing a podcast on a Monday night. But things are good. We have a lot to talk about. I'm really excited about the Panthers win. Not too crazy about the performance, but we'll get more into that later. Aaron Ford, it's a pleasure as always to have you on. Our show's so much better with you here. How are things there in Vegas?
Things in Vegas are hot, man. Wonderful. But, hey, it's not Tuesday night, so we're not, we haven't got all of our work in. We're not ready like normal, but, hey, we're going to have fun. This is an exception, but we're having a lot of fun. Plus, tonight, hey, the Hornets kicking butt, 75 points in the first half, tying a franchise record, baby.
I think this is the first time we've ever done the podcast on a Monday
Any
night.
other night. Yeah.
I can't remember it. And one other time. And I think that you said they tied a franchise record with 75 in the first half? That's crazy.
1993 was the last time. Yep.
Okay. Well, we're going to jump into the show. Tonight's episode is Cam Newton built Ram Tough. This is episode 1640. And we're going to be discussing tonight or celebrating the second straight win. That's like one away from a streak, I feel like. So the Panthers are maybe turning things around. We like to see, or at least Cam Newton says they're turning a corner. We're going to be talking about a lot of Cam Newton as usual, this defensive performance. Even Ty Gurley, we got to see him, a backyard baller. So, and also we get to look ahead to, we are playing next week the Kansas City Chiefs, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
So I heard today also that they were going to be starting Alex Smith for sure, no Nick Foles, which I think is probably a good thing. So we'll talk about that tonight. Also, I do need to bring this up. Tonight's episode is sponsored by PSL Source. It's a cool place in Charlotte, local-owned business that you can buy and sell your PSLs and tickets. You can get to it through our website, through the schedule tab. I know Shane Barbie and some other people have used PSL Source, and they've been very happy. So that's a cool way that you can exchange PSLs without having to go necessarily and pay top dollar through buying them directly from the Panthers. All right. We beat the Rams. It wasn't anything particularly exciting, most people. Guys, how'd you feel about it?
I personally felt pretty good, and it's good to play an ugly game and to figure out how to hold on and win. And that was a tough game. I tell you, people poo-poo on the Rams, but I tell you that defense is stout. That defense is the real deal. So for us to hang on and to pull that game out, yes, they had some mistakes. Their guy dropped a touchdown pass. They missed a couple field goals. But you know what? At the end of the day, we found a way to win. And it was a good win. We'll take it.
Joe, I was excited about it. It was a kind of grinded out, like mean battle in the trenches, that's the football that the Carolina Panthers that we usually like to play, or I feel like we have become a fan of. The defense that went out there and held Ty Gurley, And the Panthers offense did enough to get through. Those are the type of games that I feel like we can look back at times when it's nothing extravagant, nothing that necessarily we need to celebrate at the moment, but you can look back and we're looking for those kind of critical turning points, you know, that the Panthers, if there was something to happen well going forward, right, this may be one of those moments we say that was the grinded out mean game right there.
Yeah.
I'm glad the team won, but I think I was very unimpressed with how he played. I believe frankly, I believe the Rams defense is just a little bit better than ours. I believe that they're that good. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit better than ours, particularly in the secondary. Particularly,
right. Well,
in
that's
the
not hard to do.
Right. I think we definitely didn't play our best football. Again, to me, it seemed we kind of played kind of flat. You know, we didn't come out really fired up, and it's a long trip, and you know the schedule is all out of whack, and the time of day is so different. So I'm sure there were a lot of things kind of affecting the game. We were missing our offensive, our starting all-pro center and our starting left tackle. So I know that came into play as well. But I didn't, we ran the ball. I like the fact that we ran the ball. Despite the fact that we weren't getting great runs, we stayed with it. And I think that was critical to us winning the game. Cam, he played okay. What I didn't like was the half-hearted running effort. What do you think? You guys think he went down trying not to get hit, but because he went down so quick, he wasn't really effective?
Who, Cam Newton?
Yeah, running the ball.
Yeah. I mean, but I don't feel like we really asked it very much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He only had 7 runs, I think, but I'm like of the opinion, if you're gonna run, then run. If you're not gonna stay in the pocket, you can't do it halfway.
Well, did you see?
I think
halfway.
Did you see that hit that Mark Barron put on him?
Oh yeah, man!
Running up the middle.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I got plenty to say about that. So I want to talk about this with Joe. I think that right now, I think this is. Unless you did you feel at any point that the Panthers offense was a liability to where we weren't going to win that game? I think that the coaches played that game knowing exactly kind of what the feel is that we're up, right? Mm-hmm. And let's just play it safe. We'll wind the clock down and do some things. And we can play it safe with Cam Newton too. There's no need to risk his body all that much unnecessarily, but you got to show it every now and then to keep him honest. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how I felt like we were using Cam Newton, is that we're just going to show it to you a little bit just to remind you it's there.
Well, I mean, if that
but
was
not really commit to it.
Right. They definitely didn't commit to it. And it's not so much about running him or not running him. It's if you're going to run him, let him run. Don't handcuff him. And I kind of feel like that's what they were doing. They were like, well, if you're going to run, go down, before you take any contact. But he's not his most effective when he's running like that. And that's where my point was. Telling him to half-heart it, he's going to get hurt. He's really going to get hurt. So I that's where I just say be cautious. Do it or don't. Don't half-ass it. I think if we were playing a team that had a better quarterback, we might have lost this game. I really believe that.
And that goes to say something about their defensive line against our offensive line. Just 2 weeks ago, we got up here and we talked about how much better the offensive line played and how that was the determinant, one of the main determinants in the Arizona Cardinals game. Mm-hmm. In this, they had no chance against these guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't even think that there was anything that you could do to really stop what they were doing.
No,
You know what I
not with
mean?
the
Like, it was
players we
all
had.
coming up the gut. It was all
Mhm.
coming up the gut. You can't put
Mhm.
more people back there. I mean, who are you
No,
going to
No,
put back?
but you can throw more quick screens. There are plays to counteract
Well,
the blitz. And when you
at the
saw the
same,
blitz coming that often, why not take advantage of that? Why
at
not
the,
slip Ozzy out, drop it down to him, and let him run it up the middle?
I think it would have been different if we would have had Khalil in there. You know, I think it would have made a difference, but we couldn't have played any different with the personnel we had. You know, that was the best we were going to do with who we had in there.
But Mel's saying this is strategically like to run. All right, Mel, like, who do you – I'm kind of interested in why they can't do it with the guys that they got. It seems like they just physically cannot get Devin Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin to just go 4 yards.
Right.
Like, why do they have to ask them to do so much more?
Yeah, I mean, why make them go on the deep routes 90% of the time? I mean, you got guys 6'5", 6'4", going against these dudes. I would be running them with the slants and letting Philly and Ginn work deep more times than not, right? But
it just seems to make sense.
But to me, seriously, when I kept thinking about this, and I said before the game, you need to run a couple of jet sweeps in that game. You know, let Ted Ginn come fly by and hand it off and let him spread it out. Keep those defensive ends honest. And then if they're going to run that A-gap blitz, the blitz right up in between the center and the guards, then take advantage of it. Let them come on and then dump it over their head to Fozzie Whitaker, who slips out of the backfield, and then there's nobody there to stop him except the safety. And that's how you slow down the blitz. Our offensive line was handicapped. They really were. I mean, and let's think about it. 3 out of the 5 starting positions were new people at their positions. Well, you know, I mean, with Orr out, you had to move Remmers over to his unnatural position and then bring Williams in. Yeah. So, and they are studs. That Aaron Donaldson is a man among boys. He really is.
He's a beast, man.
So you got to
really
He's the best defensive tackle in the league, dude.
Yeah. My problem is we don't seem offensively to scheme against an opponent's strength, use their strength against them. Sometimes that may be easier said than done, but, I mean – all
right, so Cam wasn't a lot of people are talking about Cam Newton's accuracy in this game and how Cam Newton was part. All right, so, okay, when you say it was off, Joey, do you think that Cam Newton was – like, my thing is this, when people say, well, Cam Newton's accuracy off, and that could have led – like, it could have changed the game the other way. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a negative way that they say that. I also want to just say, you know, if there would have been any other quarterback back there and he got hit like that, you would have had two, and you would have had 2 fumbles for touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in some ways, I understand that he wasn't the most accurate, but at the same time, he did get destroyed.
Well, I think it's a part of the fact that he was under so much duress. You know,
he gets nervous.
Right. He was constantly having to see who was around him and try to avoid being tackled or being hit and get the throw off.
Had a little bit of that David Carson.
His feet were bad. His aim point was probably off. I mean, you know, all kinds of things were affecting his accuracy. It wasn't just that he was being lazy with his footwork. That definitely wasn't what it was.
Right. And this is something that we could see. That guy, did you see that one sack where the right defensive end came around the corner? And if you made a commercial for the Blind Side of like why this is, it's because it was Cam looking downfield. That guy didn't even get touched. He just burnt him and straight after Cam right to the back. I mean, it is what I think is anytime, and I'm so sick of this. Like, I'm so sick of me having to be this guy to where I'm like, this is why Cam's this. This is his footwork. They're like, and I just want to say, I just want to see Cam Newton behind a good offensive line. I feel like if you put him behind a good offensive line, he would be sensational.
Right.
Not just good, but sensational. Is that it gets into his head, and then, like you're saying, it affects all these other things that he does. But if he can just get into a groove and feel protected, that dude sees the field. Those gaps, when they open up, he is going to run and, like, burn you for 70.
Right.
It would be a thing of beauty.
Right.
I would love to see him behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line right now.
Only if the Dallas Cowboy offensive line was in Carolina.
Yes. Right.
And they weren't wearing Dallas Cowboys jersey
Right.
correctly. Okay, so Cam Newton, the headshots, guys. Cam Newton met with the Commissioner Goodell, last week to talk about what we've seen throughout his career, and that is, guys, really going after Cam hard, and the refs being a little stingy with the flags when it comes to Cam Newton, and that's to say the least. So, was there any surprise that this was going to be tested under the 7-9 coach? What's his name? Fisher?
Mm-hmm.
What's his first name? I want to call him Derek Fisher, but I know that's the basketball player. Jeff Fisher, who we know, and isn't Greg Williams out there now, the Bounty Gate coach?
Yeah. He's the defensive coordinator.
Right.
So these guys are known for being
Aggressive.
dirty. In fact, I don't know enough about Jeff Fisher, but I just know that Clip Brock, my buddy on Pirate Radio, who I feel like is really – he's not too over the top on anybody. And he said, I'm over the top in comparison to him. And he really really hates Jeff Fisher, like as in being a dirty coach. So he must have some reason about it. He hates him too because they trotted out all those draft picks against him because he's a Redskins fan. Do you remember when they played them and they put out like all 6 of them that they got from the Washington Redskins to do the coin flip? Anyway, the Rams get after Cam Newton hard. And once again, there are 2 hits. One that I believe is purely indefensible, which is that, what's his name? Again, Barron. Mark Barron, former Alabama player. That one is indefensible. Indefensible. That is a dang flag. No, all day, every day. Mm-hmm. Right? The other one, the Aaron Donald one, I think we could debate it a little bit if it's incidental, but no flags, guys. Were you surprised?
Unfortunately, I was not surprised. I mean, I love Cam Newton and I stand with Cam Newton, right? But him saying that in the post-game conference, he put a big target on his chest, and it pisses me off, and I think it's wrong, but undeniably that's the case. So people are going to be gunning for him. Commentators are going to be commenting on it. Other players are wanting to make a statement out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned that he didn't get the calls this week. At least I would have thought that the officiating crew would have been instructed to enforce that rule to the letter of the law.
And be like this. It might have been.
If you're gonna miss a call this game, it better not be this one. That's what I would have told them as a crew going into this game. All right, so did they miss a call, Joey? Because that Barron hit to me is like that's straight to the head all day.
Well, I think when you looked at it at regular speed from one particular angle, it didn't really look like it. But then when they slowed it down and they changed views, you could see that there was helmet-to-helmet contact. And it even looked like to me that possibly he left his feet.
Yeah, he did, dude. I've watched it like 100 times today, and I'm so surprised that you're being so mild on it because my man came after him, launched himself up. Mm-hmm. Like it was a little launch. It was a little launch. And then threw his shoulder with his forearm to try to make it look like his shoulder was hitting.
Right. But he did follow through with the forearm. You're right. I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. It's just like they're going to call that. They've been calling that for the last decade. I don't know if they saw it that way when it was going full speed. You know what I mean? When it was going full speed live, I don't think they saw the forearm quite like you could when it slowed down and maybe from another angle. But
I don't know.
I bet you he gets fined. I bet you he gets fined.
Mel, I'm so surprised. I'm shocked because I've been arguing with people on the internet all day long about this. Is it as blatant to you as it was to me? Or are you with Joey?
I'm sorry, dude. I'm with Joey. When it happened, I didn't think it was that bad when it happened.
Oh, my God. Y'all have turned on me.
No, just keeping it real, man. Just
Right,
keeping it real.
right,
Keeping
right.
it real. It just
I feel like we're looking at the wrong play. Like, we're not even looking at the same play.
No, I know what you're saying, and I think on the second look at slow down speed, yes, you are absolutely right. It should have been called, but when it was going full speed live, it was so quick you didn't really see any of that.
I'm totally embarrassed.
I didn't see it like that. The Calais Campbell hit, I mean, unbelievably blatant. No question whatsoever.
No.
This one, to me, it looked like just a incredibly hard hit with a little bit of incidental helmet contact. Honestly, I'm not surprised.
I'm blowing this conversation out of the water. There's no way. This is not happening. This is not happening on this podcast at this moment. Let me tell y'all, y'all are getting my ice pick tonight. It's coming right this second. What you see is a guy that went after a quarterback who had no blockers, right? Like he had an open shot on Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to say is even if this was completely incidental, right? He tried to tackle Cam Newton in a way that we have said for the last decade is not acceptable to do. Like, if you have free reign at that dude, you should hit him. Like, what was wrong with hitting him in the midsection? Why are you going to jump up and try to blast Cam stand-up style with your head all up? And I know that if you're looking at the guy, it's not the crown of your head. But to me, there was no fundamental tackling skills then that he used. That was the worst fundamental tackle in the history of mankind.
There was nothing fundamental about that tackle whatsoever.
But you know what?
It was fundamentally a flag.
Are you supposed to use good fundamentals?
Out of control.
All right. Well, hey, let's just make the professor more upset because Legacy Lynn out there on Twitter says, let's play devil's advocate, Tony. If the call comes on the helmet to helmet, would it have looked like the commission was playing favorites to Cam? You know that came into play. You know it came into play.
Good point.
No, because it was a flag. It's not playing favorites. If it's really a blatantly, clearly a flag, oh man. Okay. Aaron, there's another one, and that was the Aaron Donald one. So this is the one that everybody, I think, I'm okay with, kind of. I'm not okay with Cam taking that hit, but that's two big men crashing into each other.
I'm with you, man. You don't like him hitting your quarterback the way he got hit in that play, block him better. Right? I mean, it was a good, hard hit. He was a little bit of launching involved, but, you know.
There is something. You know what it is? We're never doing this show on a Monday again. I mean, no, this is out of control.
Bad juju.
No. You're out of order. This whole court is out of order.
This whole court is out of order. That one on Mark Barron is a fine. It was.
It will be fine. I believe that. I will believe he will be getting a letter in the mail asking for some money.
I don't even know where to go from this. All right, Thomas Davis making a Thomas Davis-like play in this game. I have to be fully and I have to be open, full disclosure. I thought that I had thought to myself, and maybe even said slightly out loud a couple of times this season, that it looked like Thomas Davis may have been losing a step.
Oh, and we were
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say I thought that.
I stand with Thomas.
And then he went out there Sorry, dude. I'm sorry for thinking that. Like, if this was like a confession with God, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, I did not commit adultery. And he's like, you remember that time you thought about that? That's what it is. This is like.
Jesus is going to hold that against you. When you're at the pearly gates, he's going to say, dude.
Remember that time you thought that Thomas Davis was losing the step?
That's okay. All those bad thoughts you had about Mel Mayock. That's what you said about Thomas Davis. Buddy.
Yeah. All those curse words you said when they said that Cam Newton hit was not as bad as you made it out to be all day. As you argued with people all over the internet talking about how clearly and indisputably it was. I've been cut. The rug got pulled out from under me, fellas. All right. Okay, what else came out of this game? The Panthers' run game was bottled up. We're unimpressed with the wide receiver play overall. Hey, again, another week that the Ted Ginn barometer theory holds true. Had some good catches, like some solid plays, just like the Panthers team did. Had some solid plays, but also some not so cool plays when it came to he's just not making an impact on special teams.
Right.
And if he is, it's not a good one.
Right.
Yes, bring back Damiere Byrd, dagnabbit. Jeez.
Where is he? Is he like completely not even on the? He's not on the practice squad or nothing, is he?
Fly into that window when we did Freebird. He went flying away and he hit that window. He's out, man.
You know that I got this. We have a bay window in our kitchen now, like this nice big window in our kitchen. And Miranda goes, "Did you see that on the window?" And I thought she was talking about like a horsefly that I killed or something, and I was left on the ledge. It was terrible. I knew she was going to be pissed about that, and it was not that. I was like, and so it was this little spot on the window. I thought it was like, it looked like a little spider web. You know what I'm saying? Like a little miniature spider web. She said, "Nah, look up close." And it was like this couple of feathers that had been hit into the window so hard.
Gosh.
Ooh, that they stuck. And like I was trying to look out the window and look down to see if you could see the bird. That's what happened to Bird. He is that one.
Right. Bring him back, man. Bring him back and free Bird.
Why? I was looking at. I was watching Monday Night Football before we got on, and Tyler Lockett catches the ball out of the end zone, runs it 50 yards. Like it was nothing.
Hey,
we're so ineffective on special teams. It's terrible.
Well, I'll say this. If Ted Ginn was to catch it and run 50 yards, that'd be great. But sure as my name is a freaking Puerto Rican, there would be a flag on the play and it would come back. Because it seemed like every single time there was a special teams play, there was a flag.
Yeah.
Graham Gano. Didn't he miss field goals in this game?
Yeah, he missed a field goal, yes. Again.
Just one?
Yeah. It always seems like it's at the worst time that he misses them.
It's tough when you can't put your field goal kicker out there, man.
Yeah. I mean, legacy lines out there, she says, then there's Gano. Flip the coin as to what the result's going to be when he comes up. That's the truth. It's kind of like Burson returning punts a couple years ago.
Yeah, for real. You don't know what to do. You get up there and you pray.
We need a little bit of positive mojo, though. Let's talk about what was good in the game. What did look good? Thomas Davis, very good. Luke Kuechly, very good.
Didn't he seem a bit chippy to you in this game?
Yeah.
Kuechly?
Yeah. Yes.
I thought so, too.
He was being an antagonizer in this game.
You know, I feel like we've seen him do this a couple of times in his career.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I wonder if he was trying to get the defense fired up, if that's what he was doing.
All right. What about this defensive line? Better still than it was to start.
Well, here's the thing. In the last 2 weeks,
end rushers, man.
Yeah,
But in the last two games, we've had 12 sacks. 12 sacks in the last two games, and 12 sacks in all the games previous to the last two.
Ely got a sack in this one, and what's his name? Addison had 2, and a deflected pass.
Charles Johnson
Are those guys going to be the answer?
I think Addison's really playing well now. He's still got to be able to do it consistently, but man, he's making plays, man.
I think they found something in not starting Coney Ely and letting him come off the bench and play half as many snaps as before. He's fresher, looking good, and mixing up the snaps, putting him on the other side. I think they found something there.
I think that's a very good observation. I think that's a really astute observation now. And I like the defensive tackle that they brought in. Is his name Foster? Is that his name? The number 77?
For who?
For the Panthers. That big guy.
Solia?
No, not Solia. He's what's his last name? I have to look
All
it
right,
up.
Kevin Ketchy said this. He said, I thought about Tony calling Addison a lazy ass last week. Then he goes and balls out.
Yeah, he did.
And then he said, please, for the love of God, call Rhett Remmers a lazy ass.
I think we'll all three. On the count of three.
Epic. 1, 2, 3. Remmers is a lazy ass.
Oh,
77 is love.
Love. Is it Love?
Kyle Love, baby.
I don't know.
I
What are you
thought
even
Love was
talking about,
94.
Joe? Who are
Anyway.
you talking about?
I'm looking right now.
So Addison and them did.
He played well, the guy I'm speaking of.
You're right, though. Better quarterback would have been.
Oh, we'd have been in
Some-
trouble.
But you know what? He threw for
Yeah.
nearly 300 yards. He wasn't.
Casey? Keenum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, that sucks.
But he missed several open guys. Several open
So did
guys.
Cam.
Well, sure, Cam did too, but I mean, we won, so it doesn't matter. I'm talking about. I'm talking
That's
about.
all I'm saying. Even the good quarterbacks.
Oh, so now y'all are homers again. Welcome back. Welcome back.
This guy, son of a gun.
Ouch. Okay.
Okay, so next week, Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be. Is that actually? I'm okay with it. I feel pretty good about it's a home game, right?
Yeah, it is a home game. That's right.
So we're hosting them, and they're banged up. I feel like we can win this game. I feel like we're pretty solidly matched. I don't think it'll be necessarily easy, but I'm not overly intimidated right now.
Well,
How do you guys feel?
What's the chances of Orr coming back? He progressed last week, but he wasn't all the way there.
I'm not good. I don't expect to see him, dude. Like, I'm just going ahead and writing him off for a while. Like, he was just walking around. They acted, I don't know. They said, was he really practicing last week?
He was out on the field for the first time in a long time.
Okay. I don't know when he gets out there because, like, they were like, good news, Orr is back, and he's walking laps around the track. Like, I felt like I was going to see Michael Orr at the mall at 9 o'clock in the morning, like,
That's
walking
not a
around
good
on the
thing.
track.
Yeah, I mean, him walking around the track
Like
is not a
in-
good thing.
And
Like,
his
that's
full
great.
jumpsuit. He'll be full jumpsuit walking through the mall. He'll be a mall walker. God. I don't know. I guess maybe he started to look better towards the end. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Mel, do you know how he's looking?
No, I don't. I mean, but what I am puzzled by is why you feel good about the Chiefs though. They're 6-2.
Mm.
I don't feel good like we're just going to handily beat them, but I feel like we match up pretty well. And what I mean by that is Alex Smith, once again, a lackluster quarter. I'm okay with playing Alex Smith. Right now, I am most worried about playing a team that has a quarterback that can just dissect you. So
Well,
I'm kind of worried about playing the NFC. I'm really worried about playing Drew Brees the most out of everybody.
which
Me
we
too.
play in 2 weeks. right?
He's
But
on fire.
yeah. And we how many more games can we lose and still possibly make the playoffs? I think 2 more, right? We could possibly lose 2 more games and still have a good shot at making the playoffs.
I think if we lose one, we're done. I think we have to win out.
6? You don't think at 10-6 we can get in?
No, I think there are going to be other teams that are in other divisions that will be better.
Let's just say this: is we can't keep losing games before we win games.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you really, if you're going to lose a game, it better be like in week 16, and you can actually lose it.
Right. We need to
lose too many more. Yes, we need to win a lot. Like,
we got to go on a roll. But tell me if you think I'm wrong.
Well, you better beat this team then. You can't lose this team.
We can't lose against Kansas City. We lose against Kansas City, I'm going to start doing more study on the draft because that's where our focus is going to have to be. But our biggest opponent the rest of the year
is us.
Is ourselves.
Yeah,
we can beat every single team every single week. We have that much talent. And the biggest thing we're missing are those glue players, right? The Roman Harpers, the folks like that were not stars, but they were mainstays, and they were smart and they were savvy. And as the season goes on, we're going to get better and better at that. So let's just hope that Bradbury stops going for the double takes, the double moves.
Yes.
Gettleman quits drinking milkshakes.
Should we hope that Dave Gettleman doesn't eat milkshakes? Doesn't drink them?
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, we're our biggest enemy. We really are. And, as we get better in that area, we can beat them all. The question is, will we?
All right. Shaked said that Justin Houston comes back this week. That's no good. No bueno.
That is bad news. Yeah, that's real bad news.
No bueno. I am not really in that. But, okay, so how do we then continue? We can't afford to lose. Is this a must win? I think so. I think every week is.
Now, we're not mathematically eliminated if we lose, but if we lose,
I don't like that.
Yeah, but we've got
malarkey.
We have Atlanta to go again, which, let's face it, they're pretty daggone good this year. You've got the Saints to play against, and Breeze is really good. We got to play Seattle in Seattle. We got the Chargers, which I got tickets to, coming up, and they're a pretty daggone good team. So we got some. We
also have the Raiders. Lynn brings up.
Yeah, and they beat the snot out of Denver. You know, I mean, so we got a tough road to hoe.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, when you put it like that, when you talk about all those teams that I really don't want to play on Sunday, you know what I'm saying? I really don't want to have to play Oakland next week. I know we're not playing them next week, but like none of those teams I'm begging to play.
Right.
Can we beat them with this team the way it is?
I think we need Orr. I honestly think we need Orr because Rimmers is killing Cam. He really is. He's killing him. I mean, Rimmers is an average to a little bit better than average right tackle, but he's a way below average left tackle.
I agree. We got to get Orr healthy.
Well, gosh, this is – all right, so we've won 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come on this show, and tonight you guys sweet kick me with the dang Cam stuff. And then now this is a really depressing 2-win show. In fact, you know what, so much – I'm talking about this. You guys may feel like that, but I tell you what, I stand with Cam.
Woo.
What's
Look at
up? All right. Put this out there. We have not mentioned this, is that we put this together with the help of our great friend Lynn.
Yes.
And we got this shirt, and it's going to be here like on Wednesday or Thursday. They said they'd be done midweek. If you're listening later on iTunes or Stitcher, you can go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com, and you can find this wonderful – it's the highest end. It's the next level shirt, the ones that we've been getting, the good shirts that everybody always loves. Mm-hmm. So it's on a great shirt, and it's right now. You can buy it. If you buy it before the end of the night, you actually get 15% off
Ooh, wow.
We're going to be selling these for $18.99. You can get it for, it's actually like 15.5% off. You can get it for $15.99 by the end of the night if you pre-order your shirt. So if you're Joe, what do you think about it? It turned out pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, man, that looks so good. I really like what you did with the little dabs of color here and there. I think
that's funny. You can't have one because you don't stand with Cam. All right.
Well, see,
what do you? You want one? You can't have one.
Hey, I paid for it, man. See, I'm a part of C3, so I didn't have to buy this shirt. But you know what? The miser that you are, the last time we got shirts and I wanted one, you said, I'll get it to you, but I ain't paying for the shipping. So next time I see you, I'll get you one. And you live in Greenville, and I live in Vegas. I ain't seen you since, so I'm still waiting on my.
And I still have one of your shirts sitting like right over there.
So when we came out with this shirt, I love it so much, and I want to wear it around Vegas.
Paid for? You could have just sent me the shipping money.
I didn't want any excuses, though. I didn't want any. You would have said, I mean, because a lot of people already have bought it. I know that you would have said, well, paying customers first, Mel. So I would have had to pay for it.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. You guys, if you want them, you need to go to the website and buy it tonight. I know it's messed up. It's Monday night, but I know people are watching, and you're gonna love it. It's gonna be sweet.
It's a great looking shirt.
And let me tell you,
it's a great looking shirt, and the material.
Anywhere you go, if you get outside of the Carolinas, outside of Charlotte, I'm out here in Vegas. I'm playing golf with a guy, right? And he's like 63 years old. First time I ever met him. I just got matched up with him on the golf course. Hey, who do you like in football? Oh, I'm a big Carolina Panther fan. He says, oh, Carolina Panthers. Had a good year last year. Cam's having a meltdown this year. Why is he whining about stuff? That is what you get. So I'm like, hey, dude, I stand with Cam, right? So I need that
Mel hashtagged him.
I did. I said, look, old man. And then his son asked me, oh, are you retired? Oh, that just ruined my golf game. Yeah, he asked me if I was retired. I was like, man.
I don't think he was insinuating you were old, Mel. I think he was insinuating that you must have acquired tremendous wealth over your career and could afford to retire.
Thank you, freaking Puerto Rican.
I really believe that, man.
My kids coming from Sunday school, like their church choir, they're singing this song. And it says something like, remember when a hashtag used to mean tic-tac-toe? So they say it like, and that's what Mel is. Mel is a tic-tac-toe guy. You just got cold old, bro. Hey, that's what he said. It was like my kids singing that song to you. Do you remember when a hashtag used to mean tic-tac-toe?
But the reality is, if I hadn't made you so mad, now you're being passive-aggressive, Professor. Earlier in the show, if I would have stood with you on that Cam Newton hit, you'd been like,
you're young.
You just look brilliant, man.
Look at how beautiful you look, man. You look radiant tonight.
Let's just play that clip over and over.
You know what's real cool? I'm going to show the shirt one more time. You know what I like about the shirt, guys? That
great job, Lynn. Thank you.
It's very iconic. And that it is completely, instead of just like a hashtag, with the words, like the image, the silhouette you get is recognizable to a degree that you don't even need the tag to know the hashtag to know what it is. Right. So I think that's cool that it's that descriptive and powerful in one glimpse. That's what I like about it.
I agree.
All right.
Great shirt.
Any other things you guys want to talk about this Kansas City game? Before we get
something I want to talk about is I'm tied in the C3 Fantasy League. I'm tied at 120. Come on, Jimmy Graham. Come on, Jimmy.
Rue the day. You know what? At one point, I would have kicked you off the show for saying that.
Exactly.
You're really pushing the limits tonight, Mel. Yes. You're pushing the limit. Okay.
No,
let's do our picks then and get on with it.
Get on with it.
Now, are you going to pick against us again?
Well, hey, the first 6 weeks I picked the Panthers to win and we lost. I even had my mom text me and say, keep picking against the Panthers, son, because now we're on a roll. So there's no way I'm changing now, man. There's no way I'm changing. 2 things that I got to do every week from now on is I got to wear my Thomas Davis jersey because I wore it the last 2 weeks. Brand new, beautiful stitch jersey. Got to wear it.
All right.
And then the second thing is, yes, I'm going to pick against our Panthers. So
Yeah,
even Eric
score.
said no. Even Eric said
I know. I know.
So I'm saying in this game, it's going to be a 27-21 type of ball game. Chiefs.
Wow.
All right. Yuck.
Wow.
All right. Joey.
Well, I think
Benedict Arnold.
I think the game's going to be close. I don't doubt that. I think the Chiefs have some playmakers. They have some great receivers, and our secondary can be suspect. They played better. I think they played pretty well last game, but again, I think that's more Case Keenum than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I see the Panthers winning this. They're at home. 27-21, Carolina.
Oh, same as me, just flipping it. Dropping it down, reversing.
Is that the same one you said?
Yeah, 27-21, but I had the Chiefs.
Wow.
Shotcad said 27-14 Panthers. I am thinking that the Panthers find another way. And I might say this, is that Cam Newton is going to go and do this. Cam Newton about to explode on these mugs. And we are going to put up 31 points.
Ooh.
But we're going to give up 27.
That's 31, a close game. Yeah, close game.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. All right, and we need to do our ISO picks this week, guys. Who you got? Oh, actually, Mel, you cannot go yet.
Okay. Joe, you go.
I don't have it.
I honestly, I did not come to the show with one, but I've been thinking about. I know I should ice myself up for not agreeing with Tony, right? I think my ISO pick this week is going to go to one Mr. Mike Davis, the owner of the Oakland Raiders. Now, my problem with Mike Davis is this is a storied Oakland Raider franchise. They have had some of the best players, some of the best coaches, some of the most notorious players, some of the most notorious coaches. And they've been around the NFL since the NFL's been around. And for Mr. Davis to basically do everything in his power to get that team out of Oakland is a real shame. I understand the city,
the city of Las Vegas disagrees with you, but that's okay.
Right. I understand that the city of Oakland has whatever issues they may have with, getting a new stadium and whatnot, but the fans deserve so much more than this, man. Those fans have been so loyal for that team through so many down years and problems, and it's just a real shame that he wants to take that organization and put it in Las Vegas. And I'm not sure Las Vegas would be the best place for an NFL team, maybe. But I really think by taking the team out of Oakland is doing the league and the fans of Oakland a real disservice. He should really do more to try to keep that team and that organization there. I'm sorry for the city and sorry for the fans because from what I hear, that's a once in a lifetime experience going to Oakland and watching a game there in the black hole and being at that stadium. So Mike Davis, please really reconsider that move to Vegas. And if you don't, well, please go and get yourself some ice cold ice up, son.
Well done. I'm trying to find it. I think I thought I saw it. There's this pic. Did you see him in the press box last night?
Mike Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was on Twitter and they put this picture of him beside like a TV gorilla. like because of their haircut and like. And it kind of, they both have the same hue, color, hair. Like, it was so messed up because it was like, I felt bad laughing at it. Like, I laughed pretty hard. And I showed Miranda and I was like, I feel so terrible laughing at this man for this. And that person on the internet, don't you ice up, you keep it going.
You had to go to confession after that. You felt dirty, didn't you?
All right, Mel, what do you got?
All right. Well, you got a picture to show here? I got to tell you,
do.
man. I tell you, and Twitter was going crazy.
Yeah.
Twitter was going crazy during the game because, you know, in the mode of I stand with Cam, and quite honestly, it was not just Cam, but these commentators. Anytime you get a former player that came from the division foes of the Panthers, it becomes pretty stinking obvious, man, that they got some stain. And I tell you, it goes back. I really wish, you know, and especially now that the NFL is having some decline in some of the ratings for whatever the reasons, I think it's a good time to really hit the top of the NFL that why don't you take after the NBA and have your own commentary crew? You know, we need to have our own commentators because it really ticks me off to have folks like John Lynch out there. Obviously,
the barber guy.
Or Rhonda Barber.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just
I hate
just
Rhonda
awful.
too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just awful to hear how they put down the Panthers. And Panther fans were tweeting at me during the game about, you know, and against the Cardinals the week before, they were saying, well, the Panthers are playing so good because the Cardinals were playing in such heat. And they were dehydrated. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. They came from the stinking desert, and both teams are playing in the heat. Give me a damn break.
Right.
You know, it's just awful. And then what really made me decide John Lynch was going to be my Ice Up Sun candidate was when he said after Cam got one of his 5 sacks, he said, oh, he can't call Roger Goodell about that one now, can he? Where the heck does he get off interjecting that type of a smart aleck comment about the MVP of the league? Where does he get off doing that? He has no right to say that about, in my opinion, the best player in the league. That's just being a smartass, and it bugs me that the NFL puts up with it. We deserve, as fans of our team, all 32 teams are in love and spend a lot of money and a lot of emotional capital into their teams, and we deserve our own commentator to really feed into our homerism, right? We need our guys telling us how great our team is. We don't need somebody telling us how bad our team is or how bad our
What if they
is.
did something like the home team broadcast? You get the home team broadcast.
I don't
So
see
since
why.
we played in LA, we would get a.
See, I wouldn't want that. I mean, have you ever watched a NBA game and listened to the other team's commentators? It's a whole different experience than listening to your own commentators.
No, I've never done that actually.
You know,
So.
You know, I mean, and I have. I mean, because if you have DirecTV and you got the NBA League Pass, you got the option of watching. Like tonight, we could watch the Pacers commentators or the Hornets commentators. It's a totally different experience. And I felt like yesterday we were watching the Rams commentators.
So you think everybody in their own market should get their own commentator?
Heck yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
All right. For all y'all listening to this, that ghost voice that you hear is not a ghost. It's Joey's kid.
It's my son.
Hey, Eric.
It's my son.
We love Eric. All right.
He's playing the new Call of Duty game, and he doesn't have school tomorrow because his school is a polling location, so there's no school tomorrow. So he's up at 10:30.
It's better than his school being appalling.
Yes,
That's where you go with that.
No, his school is not appalling. It is the best in our area. Anyway, go ahead.
Will you ask Eric to yell ice up for Mel?
All right. Can you say ice up for Mel, please?
Ice up, son.
He said it.
Right. I gave up.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So my ice up pick of the week goes to. Well, it was man. I mean, you really tried to change this, guys. Like it's gonna go. It was. I'm starting aiming at y'all.
All y'all.
I'm gonna laugh at this because this ice up pick is not gonna go after this person for when you missay something just because you missay it. This show tonight. Hey, Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman would like my ice up pick. It's gonna be Josh Norman, and I am okay. I'm kind of cool with Josh Norman, and I feel bad for people when they misspeak because I do. Everybody does it, and it's just kind of pretentious, I guess, to look down. It's just kind of jerk move when you look down when somebody's trying. And then anyway, Josh Norman said when he was asked if he needed to change up his style of play because he's the most penalized corner in the NFL, he said that he was not going to end his aggressiveness or he wasn't going to stop playing aggressive, and he won't change his bestiality on the field.
Oh, man. It's like Coastal Carolina.
And I'm just going to say this. You did. My man, please don't change your bestiality on the field. From what I've seen, you have not done it yet. Nor do I want to see the Josh Norman bestiality come out.
No.
He'd be like, hey, thank God he wasn't with us in L.A.
That ain't right.
That Ram.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
he's going beast mode.
Who do they play this week?
Oh, boy. I don't know.
The Redskins?
Hopefully not the Bears.
Hopefully not the Cowboys.
The Washington Redskins, it looks like they're playing the Minnesota Vikings.
The Vikings will say.
I bet you that a Viking wouldn't be a stranger to bestiality.
No, I would have to agree with you.
So to you, Josh Norman, I feel for you, bro. It's just kind of funny. Ice up. All right. That's don't change. They said, I'm not going to stop my bestiality.
That's classic.
How did that go over with the reporters?
I don't know. Let me see. Here's the direct quote. He won't change his bestiality. I won't change. No matter what laws you pass. Roger Goodell is a tyrant. He will not let me practice my bestiality.
As Charles Barkley says, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh, gosh, it's funny. Yeah. Okay. So I think I got some music to go for this.
No more Lonely Night podcast, man.
No more lonely nights. All right. You guys really kept me down tonight. Can you tell people how they can find you? I'm going to blast you out of here with this music.
Go ahead, Joe.
I am Joe Rolano, a.k.a. that freaking Puerto Rican. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Rolano. Be sure Wednesday night, folks, check out our NFC South podcast. We have representatives from each NFC South team on. It's kind of an open forum roundtable discussion about the games from the previous week and about the upcoming week's games. We've got some really talented people, and it's always a good show. So be sure and check it out Wednesday night, the Southbound and Down podcast. You can find it right here on this YouTube channel.
Mel Mayock.
All right, Aaron Ford, a.k.a. Mel Mayock, a.k.a. Panthers Drafter on Twitter. Hit me up anytime you want to talk Panthers football. I'm also the Panthers analyst for Draft Tech. New mock draft comes out every Thursday. And if you want to throw out there who you think the Panthers are going to take in the draft or prospects you want to hear more about, hit me up. You know what? You could even write an article about it. You want to write an article, you want your voice to be heard, let me, Tony, and Joe know. We'll get you posted. We'll get you published.
That's right.
My name's Tony Dunn. This is the C3 podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. It is not Tuesday. It's Monday. But maybe if you listen to this, it could be a Tuesday and you feel right at home. We'll check you out. Go vote, and we'll see you back next Tuesday.